friends, welcome back to my channel and hello if you are new. Today we're kicking off the Christmas season on my channel and I am so happy that you are here. I'm doing things a little bit differently than I have in the past, and I'm actually kicking off the Christmas season by sharing 3 simple budget-friendly DIYs. We're making a wreath, we're making some holiday tea towels, and I'm making some paper ornaments with my Cricut. A huge thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I hope that you guys enjoy this video and that it just inspires you to get crafty. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first DIY project that we are going to do in today's video is we are going to create some paper ornaments. I am so excited about this project because I cannot wait to put up my Christmas tree and mix these in with some of my golden bells, my velvety brown and taupe ornaments. So a huge thank you to Cricut for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Cricut is so simple to navigate. I have the Cricut Explore 3. You're going to want to hook it up to your computer, and then there is something called Design Space. So you create your design in Design Space, and then you cut with your Cricut machine, and then you assemble the final product. So to start our project, we are going to go ahead and make sure that we've selected the Cricut machine that we are using, which I had. I'm going to start a new project and I'm hitting the images button on the left-hand side. I typed in Christmas ornaments in the search bar, and as you can see, there are thousands upon thousands of ornaments to choose from. I went ahead and pre-bookmarked a couple that I loved. So we're going to choose the one on the left. The first thing I'm going to do is just resize it. I love that the sizes are right there marked on the page here so you can see how many inches long and wide your little cutout is going to be. So I picked a size that I thought would be nice for an ornament. Then I went over to the Shapes tab and I selected a square. So what we're going to do is basically cut our ornament in half. So I pulled my square so that it was the exact height of my ornament, and I put it right there in the middle of the ornament. I hit the select all button and then we are going to slice it. So I pressed that and we're going to make 2 little cuts. Once I've done that, you can see that I have half of my ornament remaining. So I'm going to hit make it and I'm going to select on mat. I'm using my light grip mat from Cricut and I have the 12 by 12 size. And then I'm going to change the amount of copies to 12. So I'm going to need 3 sheets of 12 per color, well, per ornament. I'm doing 3 different ornament colors. So 36 little cutouts per ornament. I do have 3 different colors of paper that I grabbed. They are cardstock, and I thought these would be nice earthy tones to add to my Christmas tree. So I'm going to be putting my cardstock, lining it up on my grip mat, and putting it into my Cricut. Now, once I have done this, my computer in Design Space is going to completely walk me through this. So it's telling me that I need to have my clamp B loaded. I went ahead and did that, and the Cricut machine will blink when it is time for you to press the button to have it measure your paper. And then when it's done, the little play button will start blinking and you can press that and your cuts will begin. Investing in a Cricut machine means having a variety of projects right at your fingertips. From greeting cards to invitations to holiday decor and handmade gifts, especially with the holidays coming up. I know that I'm going to be using my Cricut for projects big and small, and I am so excited. This is my first Cricut project of the holiday season. Cricut machine bundles are a cost-effective way to get everything that you need to get started. I love that they offer these because I am the type of person that would be browsing the website forever trying to decide what I need, and it is so cool that they bundle these together so that you just kind of have to click add to cart and you are all set. Now, another great thing is that the Cricut machine is not hard to use. It's not hard to navigate. It's very user-friendly. I am not tech savvy and I can figure it out, so I promise that you can too. Another great bonus about Cricut is that it's super affordable, and honestly, it's worth the investment. I cannot even count on two hands how many times I pulled out my Cricut in this past year. I use it for so many different projects around the house. Speaking of, I've got several on my YouTube channel and I'll link those down below. Now that I have all 3 of my ornament cuts ready to go, I am going to start putting them together. So these are the 3 items that you're going to need: some twine, some super wood glue, and some super glue in a pen form. You'll see here I have a different product than I did initially. I went out and got the pen because it's a little bit more direct and precise. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to put a dot on the side, not quite at the edge, but close, of your super glue. And you're going to place an ornament right on or an ornament paper right on top of it. The next one, you're going to do the top and the bottom, and then place another piece of cardstock on top of it. Make sure that these line up nicely. The brown one that I made was actually my first, and I wasn't quite as precise as I should have been, and it reflects. So I learned from my mistakes. But you're going to repeat this process until you are out of paper. So you can tell here that we are nice and glued. That super glue dries within about 10 seconds. It's very fast. Then we're coming in with the wood glue. This acts as a binder. This is actually a product that's used for binding books. So we're going to add that to the flat side of our ornament, and then we're going to take a piece of twine. Mine was cut to about 8 inches long. You are welcome to customize this to whatever length you think is necessary for your tree. I'm going to tie a little knot, and then I'm going to press it against the wood glue. Once I have done that, then I'm going to add a little dot of super glue to the top and bottom of just this one ornament side. And then I'm going to fan the pieces out and bring the ends together. I'm going to hold tightly for a good 10 seconds or so to make sure that the glue dries nicely, and that is all. I am so happy with how these turned out. I'm definitely going to be making more, and I can't wait to put these on my tree this year. The second DIY that we're going to do in this video is we are going to make a holiday wreath. And what I love about this one in particular with these specific items and elements that we're going to be adding to our wreath is that they transitioned so nicely from fall to Christmas. So this is something you could go ahead and put up in your home if you wanted to. So the first thing you're going to need is your base wreath. If you really love to DIY, you could go and get one of the stem wreaths that are just like, you know, the wooden stick wreaths. I don't know what they're called, but from Hobby Lobby. And then you could really go all in with your greenery. I wanted to skip that step, so I went to Hobby Lobby and I grabbed a wreath that they had for 50% off, these cute pine cones. I also grabbed some floral wire and some of the wire cutters and a few berry stems to kind of intermingle in my greenery that we already have on the wreath. And then I'm going to be adding some orange slices. If you have not baked or dried out orange slices before, this is your reminder to do that this year. 1, because your house will smell amazing. 2, because it is the most simple, inexpensive way that you can add some natural decor to your home this holiday season. You'll start by very thinly slicing 2 to 3 oranges. Now, I highly recommend making more orange slices than you plan on using. Sometimes, depending on how you cut them or just your oven, they don't always dry out evenly. Some I ended up discarding. They got a little bit too brown. Some were a little too thick and weren't drying out on time. So just make sure you have a little extra. Another thing I did pick up that I forgot to share with you is that I did grab some ribbon, just a couple of different ones, and once my wreath is put together, then I'm going to go ahead and decide which one I want to add to my wreath. So the first thing I'm doing is really just fluffing the wreath up. These come just, tight, and they just don't feel like they have any life to them. So you want to go through and spruce it up and separate the branches in different directions. Then I came in and just did a little bit of placement with my pine cones. Now these are pine cone picks from Hobby Lobby. I didn't necessarily need the floral wire for these. I did end up going ahead and using it just so they'd be extra secure, but you really could just use the stem part of the pick and tie that around the wire that is on the back of your wreath. And I found that that honestly worked just fine. Next, I wanted to go in and add some little stems from this berry pick. I'm not sure, to be quite honest, what it's called. I did grab so many of these last year and I loved decorating with them. And I wanted to choose something that was just going to make the wreath a little bit fuller, give it a little bit more texture and dimension. I love the berries, but if you wanted to go with something a little more bold, there's so many different ones out there. I think you could have a lot of fun experimenting, and that's what's so fun about wreath making, is that there's no right or wrong way to do it. You do it to your taste and what you like, and you can place things however you want, and before you secure them, you can move them around again if you don't love it, and just kind of get it until it feels just right for you. So I did a lot of playing around. I went ahead and pieced all of these stems into my wreath and kind of got it how I wanted it, and then came in with my hot glue gun and kind of permanently put them in place. I wanted to group my orange slices by threes. There's no reason for that. It was just personal preference. I do think I probably could have done 5, and that would have been fun and added even more of a boldness and a color to my wreath. Nonetheless, I went with 3, so I did hot glue these together, and then I hot glued the trio to my wreath. I did decide to go with the green velvet ribbon. I do think that I could have probably branched out and done something a little bit, just something that would have stood out a little bit more, I guess. So I'm thinking maybe just like a beautiful brown velvet would be pretty, but we're working with what I have. The white felt too stark and the green just kind of clashed. So I love this dark green. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's elegant, and I am so happy with how this turned out. But you know what the best part was? When my kids came home from school and immediately noticed it and commented on how much they loved it. That was so fun. I'm thinking I'm going to get some mini wreaths, and I'm going to just grab a bunch of random holiday add-ins, and I'm going to let them make their own wreaths for their room. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I love how it turned out. And now for our third and final project. This is quite possibly the easiest DIY I have ever done, but it's a fun one, and I love that you can kind of personalize it and just make it, you know, your own taste for your home. So what you're going to need is a pack of flour sack towels. I got mine from Amazon, some permanent ink, and some stamps. I grabbed these rubber stamps from Hobby Lobby, and to be quite honest with you, I really wanted to find like a deep evergreen color, but I couldn't. And yes, Duke did get a hold of this. Thankfully, it was still taped up and he didn't get into the ink, but I was not able to find the color I wanted. So we're going with a dark brown. I honestly scoured the web for gingerbread stamps and little reindeer stamps and couldn't find anything that would arrive in time for me to fit it in this video. So we're going with a neutral Christmas tree. Bear with me, but this is what I'm working with. So I just wanted to show you that it really is as simple as putting your stamper on the ink and stamping your towel. I will tell you, I did get some of this on my sweatshirt and immediately sprayed it and threw it in the wash, and it is indeed permanent ink. It did not come out of my sweatshirt, which is good because obviously we want to be able to use these towels in our kitchen as we're baking and drying dishes and all of that, and with that comes the need to keep them clean and wash them from time to time. I love how this turned out. Truly the most simple DIY, and you can make this as busy or as simple as you want. There are so many different stamps out there, from just like cute holiday sayings. You can create a personalized stamp with maybe your family's last name. So many cute ideas, but I wanted to share this one with you. I would definitely recommend not rocking your stamp back and forth. I think you can do it ever so slightly, but what you just saw was a little bit too much because you will start to get little outlines on your tea towel if you do this a little bit too hard. So I definitely learned, thankfully it's a pack of 4, and I was able to make more than one of these, and just because we're using it at home, I'm not worried about the mistake, but you could definitely gift these. How cute would that be to wrap it up in a little bit of twine or ribbon with maybe a jar of cookie ingredients to go, or little gingerbread men, cookie cutters, and a rolling pin. So many cute ways you could gift these for the holiday season. All right, friends, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for being here, and a huge thank you again to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.